Welcome to another episode of Keto Pros, the channel about keto food with the word pros in it that definitely does not represent my cooking skill. Today, we are making keto chili, and a fun fact about chili is that traditionally it's made with no beans, so it is in its own right naturally a keto food. The ingredients themselves are not hectic, but what you need for cooking this is patience. So what I used was a pound of ground beef, half a large onion, I got some minced garlic, a can of diced tomatoes, and some beef broth. Step 1 was to chop up the onion. I actually only ended up using half of it because I'm not a huge fan of onions. I just kind of liked it there for a little bit of an accent. And after embarrassing yourself for several minutes trying to figure out how to properly chop an onion, invite your roommate in who's also not a chef to show you how to do it better than you can. And there you have it, finely chopped onion. And by that I mean if someone else was cutting it and said, "Is this good?" I'd say, "Yeah, that's fine." Now this is a key moment in making good chili. I'm starting off by pouring canola oil into a hot pan. Then we are going to brown each and every one of the ingredients together before we actually start cooking the chili. So in goes the onion. Follow that up with a good dosage of our minced garlic. And I know I'm being kind of vague about the amount of things used, but it's really all a preference in terms of chili. I really like garlic, so I did probably about a tablespoon and a half. Here's yet another optional step, but I am a big advocate for spicy food, so I'm dicing up a fresh jalapeno that we are going to set aside until our beef is going in the pan. Now that our onions and garlic have safely made it to brown town, it's time to add the beef and our chopped jalapeno. I trust that you're more of a grown-up than I am and can keep things from making a giant mess every time you touch something. Now here comes stage 1 of the waiting game. Cover and leave it until your beef is started to brown, stirring occasionally to prevent your vegetables from burning. Now you could use a slow cooker, but I don't have one big enough for this recipe, so I'm going to transfer our meat and our vegetables into a large pot. Now here's where I'm adding a whole can of diced tomatoes. And then add your beef broth. I started out with 8 ounces, but then I continued adding it a little bit because I knew I was going to let it cook for a long time and I didn't want it all to evaporate too quickly. Now this is where I cop out. I am not a spice god, so I just bought a pre-made chili mix packet and I got the spiciest one I could find. Be forewarned that I have a very adapted tongue for spicy food, so if you follow this recipe exactly the way I did it, it will come out pretty spicy. It's not the hottest thing I've ever eaten, but everybody else I had try it was not a big fan. Now here's where you really have to play the waiting game. I let it cook for over 4 hours, still stirring occasionally to make sure nothing's sticking to the bottom of the pan, and boy was it worth the wait. After very impatiently waiting 4 hours and your whole house smelling like delicious chili, it's time to serve it up however you like. Now, I just dished mine up with some shredded cheese, but I have to say, keto or not, this is one of the best chilies I have ever had. I'm pretty proud of myself for it. In fact, the next day I even made a chili dog with a Mission Carb Balanced tortilla. So remember, stay keto guys, and thank you guys very much for watching.